right, let's go to, do we want... That's okay. We're probably gonna have to do Mr. Waffle's video tomorrow. Just because it's 40 minutes long. That's what he does. I have 2 other videos though. These ones have to do, one's the Act Man. So we'll do this short one here first. So this one, we've watched this person before, I believe. His name is Prime Pete. Someone in chat sent me this video. And the title, I have no idea what this is about. It's just called Black Ops 6 is doing it. Whatever that means. So let's find out.
Every single year, Activision finds a new way to get the players that hated the previous game to buy the new one without fail.
They
Don't
do.
believe me? Watch this. Every single COD that is released in the last 6 years has a bait and switch scheme, or rather, something that entices longtime players and then screws them because the game evidently is built to retain cash.
Is this the guy that we watched who did the ranked play video? I think it is.
And breed as much sales as possible, and it's not actually meant to satisfy longtime passionate players of the franchise. Bait and switch. Modern Warfare 2019.
Give an example.
Bait, the name. The fact that it's a reboot of a super iconic game. Advertised as the next generation of COD. The early access for pre-orders. The switch. The game is a casual catering machine, and clearly the start of their new methodology to make as much money as possible.
Okay, I don't agree with this. I've agreed with a lot of the stuff he said in his videos, but I don't agree with this. Because the bait, for it to be a switch, the bait and switch have to be opposites. So it is the next, this was the biggest jump forward we ever had in Call of Duty. So yep, that one's a check. Early access, I'm pretty sure there was. Check. The name, it was the new Modern Warfare. So all of those happened. The switch isn't, like, if he was labeling these the positives and negatives, that would make sense. But this is not a bait and switch.
In the next generation of gaming. EOMM, terrible maps, terrible meta, claymores. Game just doesn't feel like COD.
We went over this the other day.
A lot of longtime
I didn't
because the game
love the multiplayer of Modern Warfare.
Safe spaces and get the unbeatable edge. Then Cold War comes along. The bait, it has the Black Ops name. Treyarch made it. It can't possibly be like Modern Warfare 2019, right? You get early access for the pre-orders, so people buy it. The switch, well, still got EOMM, super sweaty matches.
I don't think this person knows what a bait and switch is. Like, a bait and switch would be, the name is Black Ops Cold War. Turns out it had nothing to do with Black Ops Cold War. And yeah, Treyarch, he could have said this one. Bait, it's a Treyarch game. Turns out the campaign's made by Raven. Also, the campaign was really good, so I can't complain about that one. Early access, no early access. So, like, he doesn't know what bait and switch is.
Slow progression, subpar maps. Clearly, things are in place to breed microtransactions and protect casuals. The game doesn't feel genuine. All right, well, now it's Vanguard. The bait, well, it's the same engine as Modern Warfare 2019, which was clearly one of their best.
This one I might agree with.
Has the World War II setting, which clearly baited people back to the game because it hadn't.
That's not a bait and switch. It said World War II setting. It is a World War II setting.
For a while, it had an early access test to anyone who pre-orders. Maybe this is a time when the Modern Warfare 2019 engine reaches its potential. And the Switch, it's the worst COD to date with bad matchmaking and just as terrible maps and match flow as Modern Warfare 2019.
I just don't like that game.
And it perpetuates the horrendously aggravating camping epidemic. What's after that? Oh yeah, Modern Warfare 2, the sequel to a game that had a lot of potential and popularity, especially because of the smoothness of the gunplay and movement. The bait, on the surface, it looks like it's gonna be what Modern Warfare 2019 was supposed to be, but never was.
Yeah, so if this game, Modern Warfare 2, would have been Modern Warfare 3, I think we would be in a whole different place with Call of Duty.
Advertised to be the next generation of COD, the $100 Vault Edition, which should have been a red flag on its own. It's the best-selling COD title because everyone thinks it's going to be what Modern Warfare 2019 should have been and save the franchise. The Switch, it's the ultimate casual catering machine, suffocated skill ceiling, no red dots on the minimap, horrible clunky movement, visual recoil, slow weapon handling,
everything he's complaining about in this game are complaints. It's still not a bait and switch, but it's bad.
Slow-paced gameplay, Santa border crossing, need I say more? Either way, if there's one COD game that scared away longtime COD lovers, it was Modern Warfare 2. It was absolute garbage and the worst game in the series. Now Modern Warfare 3 rolls around. The bait? Well, we changed everything you guys hated in Modern Warfare 2.
So I'm very curious where he puts the switch on this one. Again, this should be called pros and cons, not bait and switch, but they did change everything that we
Is
hated.
back. Weapons are fast again. No
Yeah.
annoying visual recoil. Classic remastered maps. Clearly, we're desperate for sales here. The Switch? Well, the worst matchmaking in any game ever. $30 bundles. The increased skill ceiling barely matters because every match is so competitive it'll make your head spin. And the game is...
See, this one and then this one I completely disagree with. Everything that he has in bait is real. We have fast weapons. We like me going back and playing Black Ops Cold War just showed you how fast Modern Warfare 3 was. Changed everything that we hated. Yeah, pretty much. Remastered maps. I don't know whether that's a positive, but it's a thing.
Is literally a DLC marketed as a full title. Every single modern COD title has some kind of a bait and switch to draw longtime fans in, only to disappoint them because the game is heavily built with greed and money-making strategies, and the game is meant to keep casuals playing so that they spend money. The actual gameplay has no integrity. Everything is rigged. And XDefiant now is succeeding in capitalizing on the fact that people are aware of it and they hate it. So now COD has no choice. If they bait now, they can't switch, or else the franchise fails.
I don't agree with the premise of this video.
Longtime fans who switch to XDefiant. If COD plays their cards right and just doesn't toss the ultra casual players who can't walk and chew gum at the same time into sweat lobbies, but still tone down the matchmaking, it's going to give XDefiant a run for its money. Remember when I said that COD was scared of X?
That statement alone just proves Call of Duty needs to do something to give XDefiant a run for its money. He is talking like XDefiant is a bigger game than Call of Duty. Just to put this in perspective, this is insanity, by the way. Let me see if I can find this real quick just to show you. I know it's on here somewhere. This, yeah. So this is Charlie Intel. This is PlayStation alone. This week, pre-orders, Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, #1 game. Also, the #5 game. It's both. It's on the list twice. They might as well release 4 other editions. No, the thing you have to remember with XDefiant is, also look at this. 49 million views 2 days ago. Most viewed Call of Duty trailer of all time. By a long shot. And that's after 2 days. It'll probably hit 100 million views by the time the game comes out. So it's not like Call of Duty needs to do something to give XDefiant a run for its money. XDefiant needs to do things to keep giving Call of Duty its run for its money. And yes, everyone hates skill-based matchmaking. It's not a bait and switch at this point because we know Call of Duty has skill-based matchmaking.
XDefiant, and how they clearly rushed to put out the Black Ops 6 teaser one day after XDefiant's release.
So this is a thing a lot of people said, and I even wondered about it myself. Those trailers are decided when they are coming out a long time before they do.
Along with changing the IP from Black Ops Gulf War, which basically leaked everywhere confirming it.
No, wrong again. Apparently it was Black Ops 6 from the moment they decided on the game.
To Black Ops 6 in an obvious attempt to nostalgia bait? Well, it doesn't stop there. Apparently there are rumors going around that suggest that perhaps this isn't the only thing Call of Duty is doing to compete with XDefiant.
So this is where he's going to talk about them removing skill-based matchmaking. They're not removing skill-based matchmaking.
Besides changing the working title of the next COD game from Gulf War, which is what it was going to be called, and it's where the game is
literally asked them about it. It was never going to be called that.
To Black Ops 6, even though technically there was no Black Ops 5, even though it was Cold War, I guess, Call of Duty might actually be going one step further in their move to compete with their newest competition. Actually, to be fair, their only decent competition in basically the entire lifespan of the franchise. No other game has been quite...
Fortnite, Battlefield, Halo. I can tell he's younger than, I bet you he's between 17 and 20 would be my guess for his age, because Halo used to be bigger than Call of Duty, and that was its real competitor, and then Battlefield was, and then when Battle Royales came around, Fortnite was. Am I missing anything? I wouldn't say PUBG. It was never that big. Counter-Strike, maybe.
quite so similar to COD and as big as XDefiant. Call of Duty is rumored
XDefiant is the one that's the most similar to COD, though.
to be toning down their skill-based matchmaking, or in other words, toning down the skill measurement within their whole EOMM algorithm. Now here's the thing, the reasons for them switching up the name to Black Ops 6 and perhaps changing how the matchmaking works are pretty reasonable. As the market changes and customers show what they support, you certainly have to adjust your practices to align with what the consumers are looking for. In the case of COD, more and more consumers are starting to wake up about COD's clearly manipulative matchmaking algorithm and how far the game's practices have fallen to greed. In my observation,
See, this is the stuff that, like, we've watched his videos before, and this is the stuff I generally agree about. The way he describes engagement optimized matchmaking and how it, like, messes with your brain, he does very, very well. So yeah, I disagreed with a lot of the stuff that he said at the beginning, but I think this is where he'll get into the more
a lot of diehard COD
convincing
players
things.
are clearly unsatisfied with the game. Seasoned professionals, YouTubers who are outspoken, guys who have been playing the franchise for years. It even goes as far as the fact that
The one thing that I will say where he's wrong here is most people I talk to think that Modern Warfare 3 has one of the best multiplayers in recent Call of Duties. Like, it's better than Vanguard. It's better than Modern Warfare 2, obviously. It's better than Modern Warfare 2019. Cold War, some people will argue about, but people seem to really like the multiplayer. They just don't like EOMM.
every single COD veteran who comments on my channel has agreed with me. I haven't ever had a single veteran player who's a longtime fan of the series, who has seen the franchise in all of its glory, disagree with one of my takes. So the question for Activision
I just
becomes, how are they going to win over the disgruntled and aggravated longtime fans who had a point of reference to watch the franchise decline, i.e. the golden age of COD? Well, it's going to be by adjusting their matchmaking and publicly advertising it. How else would they take back players that went to XDefiant strictly
I don't think
because of
it'll
the
ever
lack of
happen, man.
skill-based
I would love
matchmaking?
that.
They have to do something, somehow, with their matchmaking to make it appealing enough to the players that were aggravated with it before. In fact, I think there is absolutely no world where COD doesn't announce something or make something big about the matchmaking changing somehow.
No.
Think about it. If they don't, they're just shooting themselves in the foot. They're allowing XDefiant to steal so many players.
Again, let me see if I can find this. I closed it, but 49 million views in 2 days. They don't need to announce
because
anything.
of the vast difference in the matchmaking. Again, I just see no world where nothing changes at all. They would just be allowing the loss of unfathomable amounts of money on players not dropping $70.
Put it this way. 49 million people watch that trailer. My best video ever has 6 million views. I think it's the evolution of Nuketown. 6 million views. Let's say 1 million of those are people watching it more than once. So say my peak, the most one of my Call of Duty videos can do is 5 million. 49 million people watch that, which let's put that up to 50 million because it's probably over that now. That means that, what is that? 20%? 20% of the people who play Call of Duty or watch trailers are actually in an online community. So let's say 20, I think this is really high, by the way, 20% of Call of Duty's player base actually care about skill-based matchmaking. They don't care. They care about casual players because most of the people that play the game are. But this is where the but comes in. They have shown through things that they have changed in Modern Warfare 3, like the minimap, like movement, like the way weapons work, like the way unlocks work, that if you listen to some of those veteran players, it will overall improve the gameplay for the casual players as well. The area that I don't think that works is skill-based matchmaking. So, yes, I want skill-based matchmaking gone, but it won't be. Just numbers, simply for numbers.
In the game in the first place. Now, even with my logic, with no real evidence that they're actually considering backing this up, we actually have gotten some alleged leaks that they are considering changing how the matchmaking works. Now, they are alleged because I can't seem to find any of it, and it seems to be this weird word of mouth information going around the community, but somewhere there have been alleged leaks that changes will happen. Now, the key word is, again, alleged. It's not guaranteed and you shouldn't get your hopes up. Heck, even if they say that they toned it way down, don't pre-order the game. Wait until it's out and read the dang reviews. And then if it's actually as good as XDefiant's matchmaking, then you buy it. Despite there only being rumors though, it only seems logical that since Black Ops 6 clearly changed from the original name, Black Ops Gulf War, to continuing the numbering in the Black Ops series and adding the classic black and orange aesthetic, and timed the teaser and announcement to directly interfere with the hype surrounding XDefiant's release, they're clearly trying to compete with XDefiant.
Just to give you an idea of why that part's wrong, I don't know the exact numbers on this, but I would be willing to bet that cinematics and trailers are probably, if not done, mostly done for at least the first 2 to 3 seasons of Black Ops 6. They have to do them so far in advance because they have to schedule, they have to plan, and then they have to work on the next game. So this whole like change the name thing, it's possible, highly doubt it. They actually did that with Cold War. Cold War was supposed to be Black Ops 5. I believe it was in the beta. There were files found that were the name with Black Ops 5. So I don't think that was changed last minute, and I don't think that they planned that release date on around XDefiant. Maybe they bumped it up a day or two. Maybe.
Out as competition, and the next logical step is to do what your competition does, but better. XDefiant has better matchmaking, so what is COD going to do about that? Well, it only seems logical that they're going to somehow change it. It also seems to line up with potential rumors as well, and those two things going hand in hand create a decently logical case. Not to mention that the skill white paper for Call of Duty's matchmaking is coming out, and they have a chance to display what they're changing for the upcoming game, rather than trying to gaslight us into thinking the atrocious system that they have now is actually good. I just think it's pretty convenient timing to talk about the skill measurement in their EOMM once they already plan on making some changes because of XDefiant. If Black Ops 6 fails, XDefiant wins until the next COD title, and they certainly can't have that. I'm willing to bet that on June 9th, when they really talk about the game in depth and all its features, they'll make some kind of announcement detailing the adjustments to their matchmaking.
I generally agree with what you're saying, Boards. I think XDefiant is very generic, and I don't have any reason to go back and play it. I just don't. Like I'll probably check it out when season 1 comes out, and maybe a day or two we'll stream it. But as a whole,
it's going to be a real upset for XDefiant's release and their plans moving forward. But hey, maybe I'm wrong and they won't change it at all. It certainly wouldn't surprise me if Activision didn't do what would make players happy. After all, they've been doing that for 6 years. So I'm not going to be too surprised. But part of me is just willing to...
Vanguard sold 30 million copies, and it's one of the worst selling games. I don't know. I think XDefiant is a free-to-play game, and I think it has 25 million downloads. I could be wrong about that number. And it's free.
Thing is going to happen to disrupt XDefiant, and I believe it's going to be surrounding Call of Duty's matchmaking. Think about it. Bait and switch every year. Oh, come buy this game. It has stuff you're gonna like. It has cool nostalgic stuff like maps in the same name as your favorite games. Ooh. That's just to get players who care about the franchise to buy the game. Everything else is just to addict the casuals and get them to spend money. But if they bait this time, they can't switch. We're done falling for
again,
that.
you don't know what bait and switch means, so.
Is saying that they changed the matchmaking. That's literally it. And of course, the nostalgia bait.
I believe your name is Prime Pete. Let me explain an actual bait and switch for you. If they came out and said, hey, we're fixing matchmaking going into Black Ops 6, no longer is skill going to be implemented, or if it is, it'll be based off of level or this or that or the other thing, and then they don't do it, that's a bait and switch.
Of the classic Black Ops aesthetic. But at the end of the day, we'll have to wait. But this is potentially going to be one of the most exciting things to happen in the Call of Duty space for years at this point. XDefiant flipped everything upside down, and it is really fun to watch and fun to play. But that's all I got for now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm Prime Pete. Take it easy.
All right. So half of that I agreed with, half of it I didn't. EOMM, SBMM, all of that jazz. Yeah, I don't like it. Is it going to change? I don't think ever. Not in Call of Duty, at least, unless literally Call of Duty dropped to its knees. Like if Black Ops 6 sells horribly, which it's not going to, but if Black Ops 6 sells horribly, and people hate the multiplayer and don't play it, then maybe.